and welcome to the Dave and Georgie Show, a podcast all about human connection and just building proper, decent, wonderful relationships. I'm going to talking of wonderful relationships and wonderful people. My co-host Georgie.
Hey, thank you very much. So I'm kind of the brainchild behind this podcast. Dave has done his own podcast in the past. I really wanted to do something off the back of my networking series, Woco Loco, because I meet so many incredible people that I would love to give a platform to get their stories out there. And here we are today. I needed a co-host. I would not have done this by myself. And Dave was the perfect person to do this with. And I asked him a couple of months ago and you said yes. So thank you very much.
Hell yes.
But as I say, the reason for it is just getting these incredible stories out there from people that wouldn't usually have a platform to do it. So the Dave and Georgie Show has been born. And we have, well, we're calling them cast members as opposed to interviewees, but we've got a couple of people in the room today. Someone that I've known my entire life and somebody that I've known a couple of years, but you've actually known for way longer than me. So quite a few people that we're having on are people that you've known before me, because you've been in the networking game for quite a lot longer than I have.
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is in business membership, run my own membership organisation and networking. And at that time, we used to run, and we're going back well over 10 years ago now. We ran many events in London, monthly event. And one of our ambassadors at said event was a certain Mike Sleeman. Mike, over to you. Do you want to introduce who you are, what you do, please?
Hi. Well, you obviously know my name now, but I am actually an accountant, but I'm what I call a management accountant. So I work inside corporates. I don't work in practice. I never wanted to become a ticker. So I trained to become a finance director and work in and control businesses.
And why was that?
When was that?
No, I said why? What made you
Why was that?
Go down that route?
Well, ticking other people's work is boring, isn't it? All right, and just filling in and doing a history and recording people's history and making sure that HMRC are happy and Companies House are happy. What's the fun in that? But steering a company, being involved in actually pushing a company forward, far more interesting.
What an answer. Georgie, shall I let you introduce the other guest?
I will. As I say, I've known this person my entire life, and I'll let them explain how that came about. But their name is Jane King, and over to you to explain who you are, what you do, and the kind of problems that you solve for people.
Well, hello, Georgie. Yes, I have known you all of your life because actually you are my daughter. So let's get that out there.
So let's not have too much detail on how that came about, to use your words, Georgie.
No.
I think we're all adults here. What do you do, Jane?
I am an independent mortgage advisor. Working in finance. I fell into it by mistake, but discovered I loved property. I spent a lot of time working, dare I say, as an estate agent, one of the most untrusted professions in the country. But I did spend a lot of time with an estate agent who wasn't an intimidating, bullying sort of agency. Took my finance exams, decided that finance, pensions and stuff wasn't for me, but loved property. So the perfect fit really was for me to finance property. So I got the best of both worlds. I could earn a living from financing property and indulge my hobby of actually loving nosing around other people's houses. And I've had the opportunity to visit houses I would never have had the chance to visit had I not been doing this job. So yeah, that's how I fell into finance by accident and combined it with a love of the property environment.
A bit like Through the Keyhole. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Through the keyhole.
They did a modern version of that, and I can't for the life of me. Oh, it was the guy that used to do Bo Selector, and Lee Francis. You know that,
Really?
Yeah, he did a version of Through the Keyhole.
I thought he got cancelled.
Yeah, well, that's probably why it's not on TV.
Yeah,
anymore.
maybe.
Oh.
But I love that. So you have combined something you do with something you love, and now you are kind of living the dream.
I am. It's not a job to me. It's a lifestyle choice. If I could do it for free, I would, because I love what I do so much. And you were talking about human connections. I am a very big part of people's lives for maybe 3 or 4 months of their property purchasing journey or whatever they're doing. I am a very big part of their life and they rely on me, and I'm almost like a member of the family just for a very short period of time, and then I go away, and then maybe in the future I'll come back again.
So you know what? That segues wonderfully into a question I say I like to ask. This is only the second episode, but I will be asking everyone that comes on the show. And with the work that I do with people on referral strategy, what underpins all of that is that people refer you for what you do, not what you sell. So if you're getting introductions from people, it's not because that you help with property finance. It's because there's a problem that you solve. There's a thing that you do. So what is that thing? What's that opportunity you help realise? What's that journey you take people on that makes you feel so great about what you do?
So I work on referral only. I do not market. I do not advertise anywhere. People come to me because they want something. And they've obviously been to see a house and they've fallen in love with it. And the trouble with property buying is the vast majority of people fall emotionally in love with it and they don't think about the finance. They just want to be there. They're buying in their head. They're buying their sofas. They're hanging their curtains. So when they come to you, it's like, we found something that we really love and we really want, and we want you to make it happen. So I actually don't have to sell anything because they come to me. My clients come to me because they want something. So it's a bit different from the ordinary sales process because they've already got their product. And what I have to do is then allow them to actually purchase that product. And if they can't, to find other solutions, to maybe look at other things, because not everybody can afford to buy what they set their heart on. But it's easy for me because the client's already found their product. So I don't have to sell anything.
I guess it's more about you making their journey smoother.
Yeah.
It's about making that whole process that they love. It's about making that as an enjoyable a process.
Absolutely.
As it can be, right?
Well, I wouldn't say it was ever really enjoyable, but the end result, when they pick up their keys and they phone me up and they say, we've got our keys, and they're like sobbing down the phone because they're first time buyers that never thought they could ever buy anything. And then suddenly they've got these keys, and I've got a cupboard at home full of bottles of champagne, and because these people are just so damn grateful, because they never thought they could do it. And the market that I operate in the property purchasing, it's so complicated. And nobody understands it, and they want to talk to somebody. We hear about, everybody wants to do something on their phones. Well, the people that I see, and I physically meet everyone I deal with, I insist on it, they don't want to look at their screens. They want to sit in front of somebody with a million questions. And as I say, I don't have to sell anything.
I'm just amazed.
Very lucky.
Georgie, as a daughter, you've still got a cupboard full of champagne. Is all I'm going to say.
I mean, we do get
when I go to visit, I take quite a lot of it with me.
And I've owned properties, and thank goodness when I started, you could get 100% mortgages.
You can now.
Oh, excellent.
You still can. I wouldn't advise it, but you still can get 100% mortgages.
So, Mike, you gave quite an emotive answer first time round. So, but same question to you, kind of, what's that? When you start working with them, where are they at, and where are you taking them to?
Well, most people, they start up businesses because they've got a passion, all right? And but very few people are actually trained how to run a business, all right? And the language that goes through every part of a business is numbers, all right? And behind every successful CEO is a CFO, all right? And so most accountants, when they think of accountants, they're just dealing with their history, and people are getting on with their business while their accountants just record what's happened. They're not useful. But the branch of accountants and the type of accounting I do is I help businesses progress and move forward. In other words, I add value. I make a difference to a business, and that I can actually help drive a business forward. All right? What's not to like about that?
Nice. You know what? I'm still going to. Well, we had a question. George, you do loads of networking, right? And so you must come across accountants all the time.
Yeah.
And I guess they're not all quite as passionate as Mike, right?
No, correct. I mean, yes, that is a sweeping judgment. And I've worked for some very large accounting software organisations, and I have spoken to, I'm not going to say thousands, but definitely many hundreds of accountants. And do you know what? I find that people that work in industries that are deemed a bit boring, bit dull, are actually the most fun. When I was in EA, I was an EA to marketing leaders, product leaders, legal leaders, finance leaders, sales leaders, but actually the most fun out of all of them, say on a night out, was actually the legal teams.
Well, they
And
had
second to
they had
that-
money to spend.
But second to that was finance.
Yeah.
They are actually the opposite of what you would deem them as the sort of professionals to be. But I mean, how do you get over?
Well,
that?
accountants, people have a vision of accountants, all right? But it's like engineers. An engineer is not an engineer. Would you employ, all right, or use an aircraft engineer to service your fridge or your car? No. And you wouldn't use a fridge engineer to service your jumbo jet, would you? There's different branches of accounting, all right? There's what I call the compliance, which deal with your history and make sure that you fit into the government restrictions that you have to follow, i.e. with the HMRC and with Companies House. They don't actually add value to you. They just report how well or how badly you've been doing. But I'm a management accountant, so I'm trained to manage inside a business, all right, but specialise in finance. And I have to make sure that the files that I prepare and the records I have fit two needs. One, that they actually pass an audit and come up with the results that fit in with what we have to do with the government, but also that the management understand what decisions they've made and the effect of those decisions.
So on the subject of kind of connection, which this is all about networking and getting out and networking and that, do you think people understand that difference, Mike? And what do you do? So what do you do? Because this would apply to anyone that's in that type of sector. What do you do to help people understand the difference and connect and really engage with what you do and see the difference?
Well, for about 12 years of going out there networking, I used to tell people how great I was. I used to tell them what jobs I did and how good I was at my spreadsheets and controlling this and controlling that. And diddly squat, they didn't care. All right. I now use a quote when I go networking now, I just say a simple phrase. People say, "Oh, what do you do?" All right. And I don't go before I go into all the diatribe, which then sends to sleep, I just say a simple phrase. I help business owners sleep at night. Because that was a quote I got from a client who was concerned about his cash flow. I just changed some things around for him, and now he's got a vision for what's happening in his business. He now feels in control.
Right, so Georgie, I'm aware I've hogged a few questions, but Jen, I'm going to challenge you, Mike, on that. And
Yeah.
I love it, by the way.
Yeah.
And Jen, I'm really interested in your opinion on this. Sometimes, though, at a networking event, you say that, and then people go, "You haven't told me all what you do," and then they'll push you. I bet there's people going, "So what do you actually do?" And you've probably given them their answer, and they've gone, "Oh, so you're an accountant then."
No.
So I think there is
no.
I know, Mike, but there is this balance between not going, "I'm an accountant," and then being so kind of like, "I help business owners sleep at night." Well, you're not a sleep counsellor. And so there is, I'm really interested in this, like,
Right.
I take your point, but there's this grey area, and I'm going to throw it to Jane around your view on, like, between being super descriptive and super kind of problem solving and where that middle ground is.
Do I not get the chance to actually explain?
Yeah, I'm going to go
All right,
Jane first,
okay.
and I'm going to let
Well-
Georgie quiz you on that.
Well, I have the opposite problem because if I go to a dinner party or a party or anywhere and somebody says to me, "What do you do?" I actually avoid telling them because when I tell them, I get 10 minutes of how much money they've made on their houses over the years. Because we're a property owning nation, we like to brag about how much we've made on our houses. And we like to brag if we've got a couple of buy-to-lets. So I get 10, 15 minutes of when they bought their first house in 1975 and how they've moved up the ladder and how much money they've made. And then it's like, "Oh, well, you couldn't have a look at our mortgages, our fixed rates up at the end of the month. Could you just have a look at it if you've got a card?" And I'm like, "No, I'm here for a party or I'm here for a dinner party." The last thing I want to do is talk to you about your mortgage. But because we love talking about property in this country, we love it. Everything
Good thing
is
you're not
about
weather
property. We
forecast.
are a property owning country. And that's why when we have various governments of various colours, and all during COVID, the one thing that the government kept going was the property market. because it's a lot of it is about public confidence, and if the property markets suffers, public confidence suffers, and it tends to transfer itself into other areas of life. And I was amazed during COVID that they kept estate agents open. As mortgage brokers, we were allowed to waft around the country doing our stuff, because people just love it. And then you go, oh, mortgages, well, God, I could talk to her for hours. So I don't actually have to sell myself at all. As I say, the product comes to me. I don't have to sell the product. I'm just a conduit of making it work to get them what they want from there to there. But they've already found it. I've not got to sell it to them.
Funny for me, it's similar story in the fact that if I say, oh, I'm an accountant, the first thing people want to talk to me about is tax. All right? And I don't do tax. I don't give tax advice. I have a life. I don't sit there studying what HMRC are doing. All right? And I don't care what they're doing. But I know when I'm getting good tax advice, but I'm getting to the position with people, companies, where they're in a position to pay tax. But tax...
Not even stamp duty to certain politicians.
Don't care about it. So, nothing you can do about it. What is it for that level? Pay it. Where's the cash to pay it? That's all that concerns me.
So I echo exactly what you said about you being cornered, whatever you want to call it, at dinner parties and social gatherings, because I've witnessed it for hours and hours and hours and hours. But it's really interesting hearing about people's personal and private finances.
Well, you get their life stories as well.
Yeah.
However, you, unlike many, like myself, are a social butterfly, and you are out not only networking, but with friends, family, etc., etc. So you put yourself out there, unlike a lot of people that probably do it that don't meet people in person. In fact, it's a rarity for people that do what you do to go and physically meet people, and you'll travel to people's houses wherever they are, obviously within reason.
Sounds great. Do you ever sort of, if you're at a party and somebody says, oh, mortgages, do you ever say to them, look, all right, give me your details. Look, here's my details. Give me a call. I'm going off for another drink.
All the time.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go.
I shut people down if I'm in a social where I don't want to talk about.
Oh, I don't mind talking about it. I will have a whole batch of business cards in whatever handbag I've bought with me. And I'll just go, give me a ring on Monday.
Handbags, do we?
Oh, I've got loads.
Let's not go on.
And I just hand out a card and go, give me a call on Monday, all on the card. And invariably they do. As I was saying to Georgie earlier, one of her networking ladies gave me a call this morning about her mortgage. She said, oh, through the networking group, the networking group is great, love it, got your name, gave me a call. So maybe, it's a little bit of business for me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You do pretty much every single one of my friends' mortgages, all of our, family members, within reason.
I will say that the product you service, right, is actually more B2C, i.e. to people.
It is.
My problem is B2B, all right? And my clients that I can help are the people who don't actually understand where I can help.
Yeah.
And that is a constant problem I have. So I've learnt to speak and follow up with what I was talking about earlier in a way where I don't actually go down accountancy speak. All right? I actually try and go down the path where, because I listen to people in sales, where you're appealing to emotions. Mm-hmm. And so I go down, I follow up when I trip a dream. I hope that then stimulates a question. Well, I admit I'm an accountant, but the first thing I point out is don't talk to me about tax. But I then say, all right, I then go down and ask questions about how they run their companies and what is their problems do they hit, and would they be interested in actually doing things better for less effort.
And do you find people open up?
Yeah.
With that? Because obviously, as you mentioned, Jane, people open up straight away at a party about their houses. If people are struggling in their business, and if we're going into a more traditional B2B networking environment, we had this conversation on our last podcast, didn't we? Yep. About that thing around people have a certain level that they're willing to show at an event, because yes, you want to be open, but people don't want to say they're struggling. So how open will people be with you in that first instance, Mike?
They won't be open at all. All right. Just understand now that you're a networking event, everybody's on show, they're on a stage, and they are acting. And whatever thing there. What I sell, in effect, is trust. All right? So
I think
what
we
I
both
have
do actually.
Yeah, no, we all do.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
But anybody that works with people's personal
with their
lives
money,
and their personal money, it is
100%.
we have to be much more trustworthy than someone that maybe flogging
Yeah.
them a car or something.
So what I then do, once we got through that initial, because it's usually their question where it comes from, I then spend efforts when I'm networking is talking about them and building up a bond and a relationship, and not about what their problem is, because I know they're not going to tell me at that first meeting.
Yeah.
All right, and it may take 2 or 3 meetings to actually at networking events before somebody starts to open up.
Well, it took us a few times meeting for us to properly start bonding, purely because we just didn't get enough time with each other. You know what it's like? You go from group to group, person to person, you just sort of, flutter around the room. But it took us a few attempts.
You were too busy going to the bar.
And I'm still trying to bond with Mike. It's hard work.
No, but people expect too much from networking events. I.e., if they don't get enough chaos and they don't actually, you're not out there actually going out there and trolling. I mean, I don't sell when I go networking. It's the start of a journey of building a relationship.
So you know what?
It took 10, 15 years for that penny to drop.
Yeah.
So how many people shortcut that 10 to 15 years of learning? Whether it's hard work getting people to open up, or very, very easy. You've got two different sides of a coin here. But the fortune's in the follow-up, as I'm sure you'll agree. There's no point in going networking, collecting those cards and doing nothing with it. I'm really interested in both your approaches to how you follow up on those. Either the business cards that someone's thrown at you because they really want to talk about their mortgages, or on the other side of the coin with you, Mike, where actually there's a bit more nurturing to be doing here. So, Jane, you first.
Well, I've been quite lucky because I've collected various business cards on my networking journey with Woco Loco, and we've actually used, we've moved offices recently, and we used 2 or 3 people from the network to help us with our move, with our tech, with our removals, with our this. So we've actually made good use of the network.
You are a beautiful example of a give before you receive.
And we look to network members before we go anywhere else, because the chances are I will have met them, or Georgie will know them. And so if I need anybody for anything sort of relating to our business, I will either look at the network or I'll drop Georgie a line and say, look, we're looking for this, that and the other. And we've used quite a few firms within the network to assist us with our move and our business and our tech and all that sort of stuff, because why would you not go to someone that you know?
Absolutely.
And with regards to your question about people getting to open up, I get quite a lot of people come to me because they have got blips in their life and they can't get a mortgage. And it's like, well, go and speak to a broker, because you could be as open as you want with them and they'll try and help you. And I've had some really pretty toxic, stories. But they've got to disclose all of this. But they think, well, actually, if this person can't help me because I've given it everything to them, if they can't help me, there's nowhere else for me to go. But I would rather know that than try and hide stuff and try and pretend something didn't happen. So people are quite good at opening up, I think. But I think it's all about sitting in front of them and speaking with them, that you don't get when you do stuff online by email. You need to sit in front of them, look at their body language, because if somebody's got a problem, you'll see it in their body language. And all you got to do is, once they trust you, it will all come tumbling out. And you don't get that when you do it online. You've got to sit across the table or round a table, and then they will open up.
When you go networking, that's what you're doing. You're building trust.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? If you're going there, you go into a networking event planning to sell, you will fail.
Yeah, it's not a place to pitch.
I have this trick. If somebody comes up to me in a networking event, and the first thing before we've really talked, or in the first minute they're talking, they give me their business card. All right? I hate that. It goes into my suit pocket. All right? And then when I get home, any cards in my suit pocket, throw in the bin straight away. I do.
I wouldn't do that.
No. But if we've had a conversation and then we decide we're going to change, we don't just sit there, all right? I have my business card wallet, and I have a pocket on the outside. If you make it into there, then we follow. Then we're done. We're
I'm
on
sure
the
we've,
way.
I'm sure we've all
Wow.
had those been at networking events, right? And you're having a conversation. There might be the four of us here. Someone dashes in, spends 30 seconds saying who they are, gives everyone a business card, and then goes on to the next group of four. And the four of you look at each other like, well, I'm never spoken to that person again, right? It happens.
I'm going to not disagree, but let me tell you my strategy. And actually, I don't carry business cards anymore, but the digital version of this. So let's just say we've just met for the first time. We're getting into a conversation. I instantly know that I'm going to like you and I really want to hear what you're going to say. Before we get too deep into it, I will say, look, I know what's going to happen. In the next 90 seconds, someone is going to come and, take me away or take you away or come into the conversation and we're going to lose our flow. Would you mind if we just quickly exchange details? Because if that happens, I want to make sure we follow up.
So I think that's context.
That's
though.
that's
a
different.
different
That's
context to
different.
Mike.
But
So
I do.
No,
But
that's different.
some people think, well, no one's ever said no. But I'm almost the opposite.
You didn't try that with me. I would have said no.
But I'm almost the opposite and like, oh God, I know what's going to happen because that's just classic networking scenarios. But I really want your details given to me now.
But you're not.
I like
you're,
that.
sorry, but you're not selling to me. By doing that, there are people who go networking. They're only interested what you can do for them.
Yeah.
Right? They're not interested in helping you at all. That's not building a relationship. That's what I'm talking about.
So on that
Your
note,
situation
Mike,
is different.
So on that note, back to the kind of thing around follow up. Those people that make it into your wallet,
Yeah.
how do you follow up with them when you've had maybe that first conversation or that second one where they're not necessarily warm to you? What's your follow up strategy?
Well, I have my initial things when I start conversation with people, either face to face and with the follow ups, is I know lots of things, little things about lots of stuff, right? So I can talk sport with people, I can talk business with people, I can talk economics with, I can talk news with people, and humour, right? All the things which are all the keystones to starting the building of a relationship, and it depends on who. There's no fast way to do it. It's just actually, and some people want to immediately connect, but some they need nurturing. And it's a judgment call for each person. If you apply the same rule all the time, I'm, to be honest, fairly crap at following up. But my attitude is that if they need me and they start to acknowledge that they need me, they're going to follow up with me.
Okay, nice. Georgie, I imagine you get lots of cards or LinkedIn connections or whatever. What's your follow up strategy? How do you follow up people?
So after every event I go to, regardless of whether I've organised it or run it myself or attended an event, so I take lots of photos and I post them the following day, and I will tag everybody that everyone that that has made it into a photo, because I could be tagging hundreds of people sometimes, but I will make a point of tagging people I know, people I've met, and the venue and a few other things that are relevant and nice to have. But that is my lighter follow up rather than going straight in people's DMs. DMs come later.
So
Sorry,
for
David.
people that don't, so for the people that do that, where you're like, you know what, we had a longer conversation though. So rather than the lots of people, there's the short of few, the equivalent to
Yeah.
Mike's wallet, which I
Yeah.
guess is probably still bigger than
Yeah.
the ones that make it into Mike's wallet.
Yeah.
And for the listeners, I guess, how do you do that into the DM conversation, whatever it may be?
Yeah, exactly that. Straight into the DMs or a WhatsApp, depending on what we've shared. But it won't be a pitch. It will be a let's organise a call. It was a hi, how are you? Did you get home okay? Did you, I don't know, whatever your commitments were the next day, did they go all right? So it's not an instant, we must follow up. But it's usually that lighter touch, that comes.
Can I just say, sorry to interrupt, that I think you're in a slightly different position to the rest of us. Because you're an organiser, all right, and because of your personality, people, you come to your events, people want to connect to you. That even if I bet you that if you didn't make any follow-up with anybody, you will still get tons of follow-ups because people want to connect to you, and that you are the queen bee, right? Which the rest of us little drones come around to want to come at. Whereas we're all things and have to fight with the other drones and have to follow up. At your events, but also just you naturally are the queen bee.
So, Mike, I'm going to give a slight challenge there because I would agree, and I think I'm probably more of a connector of people than the other way around. So, not nowhere near this lady's level. But there's one. But there's one thing collecting connections, but no one needs a massive. It's like your back pocket cards. There's no point in having all those people if it doesn't mean anything. And so for me, the follow up is A, do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
Which is a vastly underused tactic. Actually, just doing what you said you were going to do at an event.
Couldn't agree
That's
more.
where you
But
build
I
the
think
trust as well, isn't
I
it?
think I'm going to go back to your point around the giving piece. Is just do something, no matter how small it is. I will always try and think of: is there someone I can connect them to? Is there another event I can point them in the direction of?
Yeah.
Or even if it's just a little thing from their conversation,
Yeah.
I will message them and go, all right. So, for example, when people do the LinkedIn connection thing, I always get people to scan me because I don't accept it. I wait until I'm at my desk or whatever, and then I accept it and I send them a message going, so nice to meet you. Hope that the day goes well, or whatever it may be. And it's that just taking what can feel like a really transactional thing and going, oh no, I'm just gonna nudge that level. So yes, it might be easier when people come to you, but you still need to do something with it if you're going to nurture those relationships.
I think it's when you meet people, though, there's a judgment call on each individual meeting. It's like I meet a lot of people, all right, and we connect up, but like you're saying, that you have your instincts, that you know whether that's worth spending. You make a judgment call, whether you realise it or not, whether somebody's worth putting any effort into. All right, and one of the tests for me, all right, is are they getting in contact with me? I get a lot of people who think I can bring business to them, all right, and they're not there to help me grow my business, and I've got no problems helping them if I've got the time. But I get a lot of, it's like on LinkedIn, I get people wanting to connect with me who haven't even bothered to look at my profile.
Yeah.
You know, I try and be selective, David, all right, but I do what you follow.
Don't call me David. I feel like I'm in trouble with my mum every time you say that, Mike. But get with me to let
You
know what.
Excuse me, David.
No, I'm the host. I'm the host here, Michael Sleeman.
You're in trouble. You are in trouble here.
So I completely agree with the selective piece. So Jane, I'm going to fire it over to Jane, who was like, "Can I less of the mic?"
No,
Mr.
one
Sleeman?
thing. If I say Dave, you sound like a TV channel.
We're the Dave and Georgie show,
Yeah,
so
there we go.
it is what it is.
So that being selective, I completely get that. And you're right. So do you have something that you do in terms of if people are more than willing to throw business cards or just contact details because they want you to? You said something earlier that can you just have a look? Like the worst words ever. Can you just talk to me about your referral strategy?
Well, my situation is quite different because I am networking with people and I collect every single card, every single one of them, because if I need something, I have to flick through them. And I don't care whether they chuck it in my hand or whether I spend a half an hour speaking to them. I just gather them all up, and then if I need something, I've got all these cards. But if you look at it from the other way, I am someone that will probably advise them on a personal level. It's not B2B, as Mike said. They will come to me for a mortgage because they're personal house, or their sisters or whomever. They're not selling me their business. I'm not buying their business. They're not selling me a business service. They are thinking, well, actually, I've got her card. I've got to do a mortgage. Or I've got to I want to buy a house, which is totally different from, well, I need some IT work, or they're not going to get IT, accountancy, or any of that stuff to me. That all they're going to get from me is something that they need personally, not what they need for their business. Whereas I collect all the cards. I've got hundreds of them at home. But because I can't be bothered to use firms that I don't know, if I need anything like the move or the cleaning or the headshots I had to do for something, it's so much easier for me just to flick through the cards and just find somebody that can do what I want them to do.
But for the people that do need your services, do you need a filtration there, or is that quite a quick, easy process that you're used to?
If they come to me and say, actually, I need a mortgage, it's fine. I don't care where they are, what they do, what they want to buy. I've done everything from a 25,000 shared ownership to a £4 or £5 million mansion. I really don't care what they're doing. We treat all our clients the same. Doesn't matter what they're borrowing. They all get treated the same, with the same respect and the same gratitude for bringing their business to us. But the thing that I have is that this is what I love to do, but I also have to manage a business, and I'd rather not. So there's two of us. There's two directors in our firm, the IFA side and my side, and we love doing what we do with clients. What we don't like doing is running a business. We don't want to do that, but we have to.
Well, this is where Mike comes in, right? And so you obviously you do the finances.
We have to.
So...
We have to manage a business and all the stuff that goes with it. We do have an accountant, but we have regulatory returns. We have various missives from our regulators saying we've got to do this and we've got to do that, and we've got to deal with all of that. When actually, what I'd rather be doing is sitting in front of somebody, helping them to buy a house.
Have you ever met anybody out networking who you've just thought, I don't care how much this is worth, I'm not dealing with you, you're an absolute idiot?
No, I haven't, because once they sit down in front of me, they do as they're flipping well told.
Yes.
And I have had some guess who I am. I've got quite a lot of.
Who I am?
I've got quite a lot of well-known. Well, they're not quite celebrities, but they do give me the "Do you know who I am?" And it's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And they come in with a lot of, oh, my mate down the pub said, and I read online, or I read in the Daily Mail this, and it's like, right, just get rid of all of that stuff and we'll start from scratch. And honestly, it's like training a puppy.
Because of the media work that you do, you quite often get people say, well, don't you only deal with, multi-million pound
Yeah.
and only people that are of this status? And
Yeah.
as you said earlier, you deal with, and you, obviously we have this conversation a lot, and I know this, that's why I'm digging, because I love it. You say that it's actually the smaller opportunities for the people that are seeing their, first move onto the housing ladder is huge, as something that is much more, emotive, much more valuable in your eyes than, someone buying their third multi-million pound house.
Yeah, I do a lot of affordable homes. Okay, they're pretty much loss leaders. As a firm, we don't charge fees. So they're pretty much a loss leader. But the satisfaction I get from someone coming to me saying, we never thought we'd own our own home, right? We've got average salary. We haven't got a great deal of deposit. And they don't know much about affordable homes. And they get their keys. And that to me, and they ring me up and they've got a tear in their eye. That means more to me than some flipping multimillionaire on his fifth buy-to-let. I might earn more out of it, fine, but it's these people, and I've never lost that, and I still get a buzz when a bottle of red wine from M&S turns up from a first-time buyer who's bought a shared ownership or a Help to Buy when the Help to Buy scheme was still going, and said, we can't believe we're sitting in our own home. We get up in the morning, we pinch ourselves, we can't believe it. That to me is why I am in this industry, not these people up here.
I think there's a story there, isn't there, about remembering why it is you get into business in the first place. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if that was all I did, I'd be bankrupt by now.
Yeah.
So I have to do this to subsidise this in a sort of roundabout sort of a way, but I never lose sight of the buzz you get from that, and this is just a bit of hubris, really.
So a little bit of a change in pace. We're going to go from, what you're doing now to what you were doing, let's say 20, 30, maybe 40 years ago.
50 in Mike's case, probably.
But
Which century are we talking about?
Yeah.
This is quite a cliche question to ask during these, but what would you tell your younger self? And I don't care what age you were or are talking to, but what would you tell them about business? Let's not go down the sort of the life route necessarily, but about business from you now to them then.
Do you want me to answer that first?
Yes, please.
The main thing is to be more forgiving to yourself when you make mistakes. Mistakes are actually good because they're good when you actually learn from them and don't keep making them. So
Beautiful.
be more forgiving.
Great answer.
Perfect. That's perfect. Right.
And succinct, Mike.
Yeah.
I love it. Love
And
it.
to you.
Brilliant answer.
Excuse me, I feel faint now.
I think what I would tell my younger self is go and find out what you want to do when you're young. When you've found it, go and work for someone who is the absolute best at it before you start to think about setting up on your own. Get all the experience and all the learn how to do it with the best in the business before you do it on your own. Don't just set out on your own with no experience, no learning from your peers. So try everything, find your niche, go and learn from the best in the business before you set up on your own.
Awesome. I love that.
Two great
Yeah,
answers.
that's really
there.
good.
Two brilliant answers.
Okay, so let's just say your younger person, your younger self, was living in 2025 now. It's 2025, my
Yeah,
God. We're living now.
yeah.
What would you tell them in today's world?
If different, I think there were two brilliant answers, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, just in terms of how technology's evolved, how just everything, you're like.
Oh,
would
you're,
it be-
so
would it
you're
be
saying
different
if we were in our 20s now,
now?
what
Well,
would
let's
we...
just say you were talking to your. Let's just say
Yeah.
you had a 20-year-old child or a grandchild that was around that age. What would you say to them now, gearing them up for the next, 40, 20, 30, 40
What,
years?
in respect of business?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, yes. Let's stick to business.
Can I say that I'm someone that's never seen a life coach, ever. Never seen a business coach, ever. Put the hours in. Love what you do and forget all of this background, all these people that think that they can make your business better. I'm not talking about accountants because we need accountants. But all this flowery, wokery people, yoga retreats and all that stuff. Forget all of that stuff. Put the hours in. Build out your client bank, forget the wokery, and you'll be all right. And don't be afraid to go for a beer and have a chat with people outside the pub, because more business is done outside of pubs, in the smoking alley, than anywhere else on earth.
Nice, Mike.
Don't become over dependent on the tools now available to you. Let me explain that slightly bit more. That, for example, when I started, I didn't have an electronic calculator. I had a mechanical calculator, all right? But I've learnt to actually use the tools. But what I've had the time to do is to learn how to problem solve. If you then become over-dependent on AI, which is the buzz thing now, you will be sacrificing your ability to solve problems. And that's where, in going forward into the future, when we get to 2035, where you'll make a difference is where you'll be able to use still be able to learn and train your human brain.
100% agree.
Honestly-
LinkedIn goes very quiet when ChatGPT goes down, doesn't it? But anyway,
That could not have been a better set of answers.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
perfect.
Really love that.
Should we do networking
Last
101?
but not least,
Yeah.
Networking 101, sponsored by Water, which I won't go into a huge amount of details now about, but it's beautiful water.
Lovely
You've all
water.
got some.
It is.
Yeah.
It's lovely water.
Absolutely. So this is going to work a little bit like this. Dave is going to ask the question. It is a one-worded answer, or maybe two, depending on the question. He's going to ask it. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. You both answer together. Question number 1.
Question number 1. Morning events or evening events?
3, 2, 1.
Evening.
Evening.
Boozer or trendy wine bar?
3, 2, 1.
Boozer.
I
yes.
like. Business cards, yes or no?
3,
Yes.
2, 1.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
wow. First car.
3, 2, 1.
Morris Marina.
VW11.
Okay. And final one. What's your favourite cheese?
3, 2, 1.
Brie.
Stinking Bishop.
Oh, good choice. Nice.
And talking
nice.
of
In your opinion.
stinking, should we go and have a stinkingly good night?
In your opinion.
Okay, well there is that. All subjective, right? So,
And the
Absolutely.
final question, I think we should end with the same one as we did on the last show, because
Yeah.
I think that was perfect little
okay, do you want to ask it this time?
stop point. Okay. One networking tip that you have that is your go-to. Remember, there's going to be an audience out there of people that potentially have never been networking. or have been networking and fallen out of love with it and haven't been for God knows how long. So in today's world, and it might even be exactly the same as it was years ago, but in today's world, what is your go-to networking tip, Mike?
Listen and make sure that you are present, that you're not there thinking about or watching somebody over there or there, that you're actually connect with the person that you're communicating with.
Okay, I've got an extra question off the back of that. What do you do when you're in a circle of people at a networking event? Because sometimes it can be quite hard when everyone's talking amongst themselves and things. Like, how do you navigate that at a networking event and try and be focused on one person when there's sort of a few different conversations going on around you?
Well, if you look that when you actually in a networking room with, say, tens of hundreds of people there, you're actually in a small group, i.e. 2 or 3 people, and your bodies is actually facing somebody. All right, or it's facing 2 people in like a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
That's who you're having a conversation with. Everything else is peripheral. Ignore it.
Yeah.
When you're ready to leave that group is when you then focus on somebody else.
And also, I think when you're in that 3 and it's an open 3, and it's an open 3 when it's not a closed triangle, there's a bit of a gap. Someone will join, and naturally that 4 will become 2 2s.
There's a whole bunch of psychology about that whole open. And we had a really deep conversation about that once, didn't we?
Well, I was helping, I can't remember his name now.
Arbor,
right?
Famous Arbor.
And I was actually
the legendary,
demonstrating.
beautiful, unicorn soul that is Arbor.
No, but I was because somebody explained it to me. All right, that when you go networking, if you see 2 people are facing each other, it's a closed conversation going on. If you join in, try to join in, then you are interfering with that conversation. If, however, their bodies are slightly angled apart and there's a gap,
it's an open 2.
then you're open too. Am I not right in this?
You're absolutely bang on. Yeah.
But I'm not sure where I heard it from. It might be through Warren and yourself, but somewhere that's somebody's.
It's back from our business scene days, mate.
Oh.
Exactly.
Full circle.
Yeah, no, but it's a science to operating in a networking room.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think we should probably do a session at some point about the psychology behind reading a room.
Sounds
Because a lot of people don't get it naturally. I think we do because we're, seasoned networkers.
Can I just add on to that before we move on?
Go.
That when I actually first turn up at a meeting, at a networking event, a lot of people just go straight into it straight away. But what I do is I come in and I stand on the periphery side and I start to get a feel for the room first. I don't rush in and go and talk to people unless I see faces that I know.
Yeah.
But at some point, before I get really into it, I want to stand on the side and breathe in the networking room.
Absolutely.
And just get a feel for it.
So technically that's 2 tips, but we'll let you off because they were both really good.
Thank you very much.
Jane.
I am the diametric opposite. I think you should go in treating it as a bit of a party. So you can go, you're going, I'm going to socialise with people. I'm going to meet new friends, meet new people. And if they want to know what I do, well, fine, that's fine. I can tell them what I do. And maybe we'll have a worky conversation. But I think if you go there thinking it's just going to be a really good, fun evening to meet new people, I think you can't go far wrong because people will always want to meet you. So I've been to networking events where I've been completely on my own, and you'll see a group of people and they'll go, oh, hello, and they make you feel welcome, and then it's all a bit of a party, and almost the networking, what you do is almost secondary.
But that's not.
I think
that's not different to what I'm suggesting. I just say I don't rush in.
I don't read a room.
I
don't read a room.
So
I just
you know
like,
what?
well,
I
do
think
you know
it's
what?
about being your authentic selves.
100%.
Right?
Dress up, put a bit of makeup on, get a glass of wine, and go and have a bit of fun.
Last time I put makeup on at a networking event, it didn't go down well.
Yeah.
There we go. And on that bombshell.
Oh.
On that bombshell.
Last time I put makeup on, I got arrested.
Hey. Another story for another podcast.
Yeah.
On that note,
Are we done?
I think we're done, aren't we?
Shop shut.
Shop shut. On to
Fabulous.
the event.
Right, let's go
Party.
drink some
Party.
fizz, drink some beer, have some more shots.
Stay
We've still
awake,
got half
stay
a bottle.
awake,
We've
stay
still got
awake.
half a bottle of prosecco out there.
And some. Jeez. Right, okay.
Possibly the most random haphazard ending to a podcast ever.
Done.
Good.
Done. We're done.
Hey! Really hope you both enjoyed that and found it useful.
And if you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Cheers.
Cheers.